right now, you just have to realize that you're at a race to the bottom. So you need to change your offer and actually change your model that you're actually doing because it's not sustainable. Hey there, my name is Nick with Consulting Profits, and today I want to talk about why the SMMA space is dead and what you should be doing instead if you currently run an SMMA. Right. So right now we're in a time where trust is at an all-time low. There are more agencies than ever. If you're a coach or consultant, there's basically coaches and consultants coming into this space every single day, and there's info on YouTube, right? So what is it that people are actually paying for? And if you're trying to grow to $50,000 to $100,000 a month, and you've been stuck at that $5,000 to $10,000 per month mark, and you're finding it very, very tough to scale, it's not really a skill set or anything like that. It's really just because your offer is completely commoditized. So let's dive into it and talk about why SMMA is actually dead right now. So there's really four main reasons that your SMMA is actually struggling to scale up to like $50,000 to $100,000 a month, or even breaking $10,000 a month, right? And the main reason why is it's very commoditized. Your offer is super, super commoditized. And the reason why it's commoditized is because there's over 1 million other agencies doing the exact same thing that you are, let alone freelancers and, basically freelancers in third world countries and things like that. Okay, so if you go look up on LinkedIn or Facebook, you'll literally just see like there's over 800,000 people in the agency space if you literally just search agency. We're not even talking about when you actually, talk about their team members who are doing outreach and all these things. So if you're doing cold outreach right now, it is an absolute grind because there's literally 1 million other people doing cold outreach. That's why when you actually go to prospect, you'll hear businesses say that they get 5 to 10 calls every single day of people trying to sell them agency services or marketing services, right? Or they get 1 million cold DMs every single day and they're so tired of it, or they're getting a bunch of cold emails and they're so sick of it. So it's like, how are you actually going to grow a business doing that when it's in such a saturated space where it's literally just a race to the bottom of who can charge less? That's the only difference between your offer and freelancers in third world countries, is that they can charge less than you, right? They can charge a couple $100s a month for Facebook ads, whereas you're trying to charge $2,000 to $3,000 a month, where they can basically go in and do the exact same thing for a fraction of the price, a tenth of the price. Not only that, but let's say you're a coach or consultant or something like that. There's info on YouTube right now that are better than most courses out there. There's literally such good info on YouTube that courses are now at a race to the bottom because people are just giving away such great information for free. So it's like, why would people actually end up paying thousands of dollars to, a guru? Okay. So if you're in one of those situations right now, you just have to realize that you're at a race to the bottom. So you need to change your offer and actually change your model that you're actually doing because it's not sustainable. There's no way you're going to be around for years and grow a business to $1 million in a year because there's nothing unique about your business. Okay. And the reason why is that it's so easy to get into this space. It's literally like watching a YouTube video on Facebook ads, and then you can go offer and offer businesses Facebook ads services. It's like there's literally hundreds of people doing that every single day where they're starting up a brand new agency. There's literally over 100 to probably thousands of agencies entering the space every single day. And as a result, because the barrier of entry is so freaking low, people don't get people great results. So if you're doing sales calls right now, you're probably hearing like how many people have been burned, right? I've been burned by this marketing agency. I've been burned by this program. I've been burned by this coach. I've been burned by this, guru, whatever it is. So now we're in a time where we're in a trust recession. People still have money, right? I'm hearing all these things about how people don't have money to buy, things. And yes, I mean, economically speaking, it's definitely a harder time. But businesses and people still have money to spend. They're just more conservative about it because the trust is really low. So with the trust being low, with it being a commoditized offer, with over 1 million businesses in the exact same space offering the exact same thing that you do, which is essentially just a one size fits all kind of solution. There's no customization to it, right? It's no longer the days where you can just toss up some Facebook ads for someone, give them some leads and charge them $3,000 a month, because anyone can do that. No longer the days where you can just like toss up a coaching program and do a weekly Facebook Live and charge thousands of dollars for that, because you can literally get that same info on YouTube right now. So those combinations of things, it's just going to make it to a point where you cannot grow a sustainable business, because it's just a race to the bottom. And then you're going to get to a point where you can't hire a team. You can't reinvest into marketing. You don't have the margins for any of this stuff. And you're probably not able to retain any clients, right? So when I grew my agency to $100,000 a month, I started feeling this. I started feeling all these things. And it was a grind to grow that to $100,000 a month, and it wasn't sustainable. All right. We sustained it for a while, don't get me wrong, but it was a grind, and I could have kept growing it and things like that, and basically just doing what I did. But it got to a point where I realized that we were just commoditized. We were losing clients to people who were charging less. We were no longer growing at the rate that I wanted to. So basically we weren't getting as many clients as we normally did. And it was because I got in at a time where it was less saturated and we were able to scale up at that time. But after that, I noticed we really needed to change. So to this day, what I really recommend now, and I'm only really starting to talk about this now, is that you need to switch to more of a leveraged consulting model. And after switching to a leveraged consulting model, I've made millions doing this, all right, for other businesses. And I've also showed certain people how to actually create leveraged consulting in their business and scale up their own business to tens of thousands of dollars a month, equating to basically hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and even growing to millions of dollars a year, which is absolutely insane, by changing from a commoditized offer to leveraged consulting. All right. So that's where leveraged consulting comes in. And the reason why it is a significantly superior business model is because it allows you to charge more, because you're going to get people much better results. It's so crazy because it requires less time. It takes effort to set up, but once it's set up, it's so leveraged that it requires significantly less time than a marketing agency or coaching program. It's a unique offer, and it's very hard to replicate. The reason why it's hard to replicate is because you can't just be a beginner and start consulting businesses. That's just simply not how it works, right? However, if you're an agency owner right now, or you're a coach who's struggling, then and you're between $5,000 to $10,000 a month, you've helped some clients before, and your goal is to scale to $100,000, $200,000 a month, then what you can do is actually utilize leverage consulting, because you've actually been in the game. You understand certain parts of the business where you can start to create custom solutions for your clients. And this is where you're going to be able to start charging, $10,000 to $20,000 per client and still get monthly recurring revenue, which I'm going to show you how to structure your offer. But when you do that, you don't need to be bringing in a ton of clients, right? Like, if you want to hit $100,000 per month in a traditional marketing agency, let's say, well, you literally need like 50 to 65 active clients to be able to do so. It's a lot of freaking work. With leverage consulting, you need like 5 to 10 clients and you're at $100K per month. So it's like it's way less time, way less stress, very hard to replicate. So you're not going to get commoditized, and you're getting your clients better results. It's a win-win situation all around. So you're probably wondering like what leverage consulting actually is. So the easiest way is to tell you about a conversation I had with someone who someone who is working at Deloitte, right? And they basically are the biggest consulting, one of the biggest consulting companies in the world, if not the biggest consulting company in the world. And their revenue is in the hundreds of millions. They've probably done billions over the years, right? Which is absolutely insane. They have 500,000 employees. So it just kind of gives you a perspective on the scale that they're at. And he works as a consultant for Deloitte. So I asked him, like, what does a consultant actually do? And how he kind of explained it to me is that they essentially go into a business in a very specific industry, and they go in and look at the business and essentially say, we need to implement this solution for you so that way you can get to X result. Okay. Now, from a high level perspective, that's essentially what, we're doing when it comes to helping businesses, right? We're implementing a solution and getting them a very specific result. So we started talking a little bit more about what that actually means. So, for example, on his side, he was a CRM consultant. So basically what this means is that he would go into big businesses and with Deloitte, they only work with businesses with 500 employees and up, right? So they're working with some businesses with thousands and thousands of employees. So there's a lot of moving parts. So essentially what he does is he goes into these businesses and analyzes it and says, okay, we need this type of CRM into your business based on the size of your business, based on what you're doing, based on where you're missing out on revenue. So for a big company, you can imagine when they grow to an enterprise level, they're probably losing a lot of inefficiency. So they essentially come in, install a CRM for them, and basically say, hey, this CRM is going to be great for you. We recommend this specific CRM. We'll have our team install this CRM for you and then keep us on retainer. And what we'll do is we'll basically train your employees on how to use this CRM. And then when you implement this system, it basically will make them a ton of money, right? Because when they implement a CRM, they're going to be able to track their leads better. They're going to be following up with their pipeline and actually making more deals from what they have. And as a result, they're going to help that company grow a ton. So I literally just thought about this model and figured, okay, well, this is exactly what I'm doing for a lot of businesses, right? And when you can actually consult businesses and create a solution like this and continue to help them iterate and basically, utilize the solution to the best of their ability, you're going to make a company a ton more money than just offering leads or Facebook ads or Google ads, right? Or worse, like just posting, on their socials for them. Like, I really think in the next few years, or maybe even sooner, a lot of these social media, like content agencies or things like that, branding agencies, they're just going to get phased out by AI because like you can literally get like a brand package that would have cost $6,000 to $10,000 before and do that in 5 minutes with AI now. And it probably is better and more customized to my taste. And I don't have to go back and forth with an agency. It's like that's going to happen to a lot of agencies. So the only way to stay in the game is really to have custom solutions that people cannot replicate. And it's an actual unique offer. That's why Deloitte has become literally the biggest consulting company, especially in the past few years. They've really, really grown because they go into specific industries and offer custom solutions and help them implement the solutions. So it's like way better. They can charge way more. And you can't just go in and replicate Deloitte. Like that's why they're literally the biggest. So to basically sum it up, leverage consulting is a mix of done-for-you services and done-with-you services, all right? So done-for-you is where most marketing agencies live, okay? They always just offer done-for-you services, which is great. It is totally fine. The problem is that it becomes commoditized, and most companies need more than just done-for-you. Now, on the other hand, you have coaches and consultants who just offer done-with-you services. And that's fine too. The problem with that is all that info is on YouTube and it essentially becomes, a race to the bottom and a commoditized thing. But honestly, it's like most courses out there, like all the stuff's on YouTube for free. So it's like, there's nothing to pay for. So when you merge these two, it becomes leverage consulting, because what you can do is essentially have a setup where it's done for you. Then the done with you part is actually the training part on how to actually utilize and basically get them to the result. So the easiest way for me to explain this is to actually show you an offer, right, that I created that we're actually kind of working on right now. But it gives you the idea of why it's actually leverage consulting and not just like a course program or just a done for you agency service. All right. So think about businesses. Most of the time with agencies, you're just literally generating them leads. So what's the problem with that? Well, it sounds perfect, right? When you give a company more leads and they can actually close. The problem is that they tend to fall apart here, right? In the sales section. It's like you can get a company leads, but then you're just going to hear from them like the lead quality is bad, or, they can't turn them into sales. They're not seeing an ROI. And as far as you're concerned as a marketing agency, you're doing your job. You're generating them leads. The problem is they're not going to stay with you long term because you're not actually getting them great results. So if they can't make money from your leads, well, then you're at a point where you're literally just going to keep them for maybe a month, maybe 2 months, but then they're going to leave. So it's like, how can you actually create a long-term business doing so? So where leverage consulting comes in is that I'm not only just going to generate someone leads, but what I can do is actually help them with their sales, train them up on their sales, help them with their fulfillment, help them with their scale. And if I can tackle these 4 things, these are generally the 4 things that a business needs to get to $1 million a year. So basically what I'm creating is $1 million a year infrastructure for a business. And the reason why I can do that is because I've scaled my own businesses to over $1 million a year, right? So I know how to do so, and I know exactly what it is that they need to do so. Now, if you're a marketing agency or coach or consultant right now, and you're like, how the heck am I going to build an offer like this? Because you don't know how to fulfill. Well, basically, you need to act like a business owner and learn how to hire the right people. And this is where the offer is not easy to set up. But once you build it once, right, you can basically reutilize the same offer over and over and over again to work with other businesses. So let me walk you through the exact offer. So basically, we're going to help businesses scale up to $1 million a month or $1 million a year rather, right? $100,000 a month. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to help them with their leads. We're going to help them define their niche and pick a niche where they can actually charge $5,000 to $10,000 per sale. Then what we'll do is we'll launch their ads and build out their funnel completely from scratch. We'll also place a virtual assistant in their business that's going to cold outreach specifically for them and book 10 to 20 sales meetings a week, right? And then we'll also install our speed to lead AI automation to ensure that their leads get hit up as fast as possible and turned into sales calls. So that's the lead section. And as you can tell, that's a great offer already. Like if you're a marketing agency, you could probably just take that offer and use that and make more sales than you're actually making, because this offer in itself is absolutely insane. But then what I also want to do is ensure that those leads that get turned into actual sales calls, right, are actually going to be closed. So what I'm going to do as well is have weekly sales training for their sales team. If they don't have a sales team, they can hop on the sales training themselves, basically whoever's taking the sales calls. Or if they want to hire, we'll actually help them out and give them SOPs and the exact systems they need to hire sales reps, right? High quality sales reps. And we'll give them done for you scripts and customized scripts for their offer and ensure that basically they're closing at a 20 to 25% closing ratio at a minimum, if not higher. And how we'll do that is we'll essentially give them weekly call reviews and weekly setter training as well. So you can see just from the leads to a sales perspective, like this is all done for you, right? This is what most marketing agencies can offer very easily. What they don't really offer is the sales training. So how do I offer sales training when I might not be the best sales trainer in the world, right? So I'm decent at sales, but there's people significantly better at sales than me. So I can pay them a little bit for their time and essentially have them build out the sales training or have them join my team and basically help out with those things, right? So this is where you can start to leverage and use other people in your offer. So, and it's not as expensive as you think. You can basically be able to reach out to them and negotiate a very, very, very low fee. It's not anything crazy. All right. So now the rest of the offer is we'll also help them with their fulfillment. So let's say we're working with a marketing agency. So we'll train their media buyer. I'll have my media buyer train them and make sure they know how to use, run ads and utilize our systems. They can actually use my team to run their ads and things like that, or run their clients' ads if they want. We'll do audits for them whenever they want to make sure that all their campaigns are good. And we'll also create cash injection campaigns. So this is like database reactivation campaigns and things like that. Right. So from a fulfillment perspective, when they get clients, we'll be able to show them how to take care of their clients. So that way they can retain their clients long term and make a bunch of money. Right. And then when it comes to scaling, well, they're going to need an infrastructure for that. So this is where we'll show them how to hire. We'll give them SOPs. We'll give them leadership training. We'll show them how to hire managers. So that way they can start leveraging their time and become a CEO. And if we hit all 4 points, then they should have $1 million per year business. So that is what leverage consulting is. So you can see when I break it down, right? It's a combination of done for you and done with you. So the done with you stuff is very cool because I can build that once and utilize that stuff over and over and over again. Like when it comes to sales training, right? If we did a weekly call, well, multiple people can hop on that weekly call. So it's different from a coaching program in the sense that it's not just like a generic call that you hop on once a week. This is like a specific sales training where you can bring your sales reps to this, where their sales reps are going to get trained, right? So this is where you're starting to create custom solutions. You're building out the infrastructure, and then you're giving them the training that they need, or the team's training that they need to be able to utilize the infrastructure in the best way possible. So from there, you can build this once and sell it to multiple businesses. You can charge tens of thousands of dollars for this. Like literally just for this, could probably charge anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 to build the infrastructure out for 90 days. And then I could either take a percentage of the revenue. So let's say like 15 to 20% of the growth, right? So let's say this business is at $10,000 per month, but I get them to $100,000. I could take a percentage on that $90,000 of additional revenue I bring them. Right? So let's say I take 10% of that 90K. That's $9,000 plus the setup fee that I created. So that client is already worth almost $30,000, right? And that's only if they paid me once. Like if I basically kept them forever and, started to do more custom solutions and things like that, well, you can see how this starts to scale and how I don't really need that many businesses to be able to make a bunch of money. And the cool thing is when they pay me more money, I can actually reinvest that back into my team, or go reinvest that back into finding people who can help build more solutions, more customized solutions. And that's exactly what Deloitte did to scale, which is absolutely insane, right? So it's not like they had all these solutions and there was one dude at Deloitte who just created all these things. They basically just found a way to create solutions, right? Go and reinvest that money into creating more solutions, and basically created this leverage consulting model, right? They're literally just utilizing consultants and leveraging their expertise, putting them into businesses, building the infrastructure, charging them to continue using the consultants to build more infrastructures, and train them on utilizing the infrastructure in the best way possible, right? And then as a result, you're going to get better results for your clients. You're going to make 10 times more profit and revenue, and so is your client. So it's a win-win situation. And then it'll get to a point where you can leverage your time, right? So this is the best way to grow to $100,000 a month. And it's the most fun way, the least stressful way. And you just need to build this once. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be some work to build it. But once you build it, you're going to be able to scale up significantly faster, right? And it's not going to be a race to the bottom because it's not a commoditized offer. As you can see, there's a lot that goes into it. So hopefully that makes sense. If you currently run a marketing agency right now, This is what I can recommend to you and what you should do as someone who was running a marketing agency and transitioned to a full service leverage consulting business. You know, I've made millions of dollars leveraging consulting. And that is my recommendation to you if that is the same kind of path that you want to take. If you're okay making $5,000 a month, stick to a marketing agency. You can do so. If you're a beginner, start off and grow a marketing agency to $5,000 a month, get a couple clients, and then build a leverage consulting business from there. But if you're at $5,000 to $10,000 a month in your marketing agency or more, and you're trying to grow to $100,000, start doing consulting and you'll make a ton more money. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, please let me know. And let me know if you actually transition to the leverage consulting model. I'd love to help you out. So feel free to comment below any questions that you have. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.